It's a loud, crowded, completely standard afternoon on the streets of Bengaluru. Until you notice him. One man is locked completely rigid, arched backward against gravity, while the entire city rushes past. His body is stiff. His eyes aren't blinking. He looks like a physical error, someone whose system suddenly crashed in the middle of a crosswalk. The people around him didn't call for a paramedic. They pulled out their phones. Within minutes, a person experiencing a crisis became a digital exhibit. The second that footage left the street and hit the internet, all local context vanished. It was replaced by a frantic warning. The message was simple and terrifying. The zombie drug is here. The clip bounced from public feeds straight into closed, highly trusted family WhatsApp groups. When your uncle or sister forwards a video like this, it stops feeling like a rumor and starts feeling like a confirmed threat. So we have to ask, did a highly destructive global epidemic secretly land in India? Or did millions of anxious people manifest a monster out of thin air? To understand why people panicked, we have to look at the actual global opioid crisis, specifically a chemical called xylazine, often sold as Tranq. Official records, like this briefing by Senator Chuck Schumer, confirmed the DEA is tracking xylazine as a systemic threat in the U.S. It was designed as a heavy animal tranquilizer, but when suppliers cut it into street drugs, the human body simply couldn't process it. It induces a debilitating frozen stupor and severe flush wounds. People lose all motor function, trapped in a catatonic state on the sidewalk. That intense, documented reality in the US gave the internet a convenient template. When people in India saw a man frozen on a Bengaluru street, they projected the horrors of xylazine right onto him. But when local doctors and police in Bengaluru actually investigated the incident, the zombie narrative fell apart entirely. They found zero evidence of xylazine, fentanyl, or any synthetic narcotic in the area. Clinically, the man's paralysis was likely caused by extreme alcohol withdrawal, a sudden psychiatric break, or cheap, localized adulterants. Local authorities treated the incident as a critical health emergency, dispatching an ICU ambulance to provide immediate medical stabilization. And that's the tragedy here. A vulnerable man dealing with a deeply human, terrifying medical crisis was stripped of his dignity and turned into a mythological creature by millions of strangers. So why did the platform algorithms aggressively push the zombie narrative instead of the grounded, factual medical truth? This chart illustrates exactly how social platforms weigh information. You can see a massive, accelerating spike for fear-based engagement, while the metric for factual reporting completely flatlines. Well-meaning people become unwitting cogs in this machine. You hit forward to warn your family, and you end up doing the algorithm's heavy lifting. Social media platforms have a direct financial incentive to manufacture and sustain panic. The truth is boring, and boring doesn't sell ads. The contagion that hit India that day was entirely psychological. The actual infection was spreading entirely through glowing glass screens, moving silently from one person to the next. As long as our dopamine receptors are tuned to outrage and terror, the internet will gladly keep inventing new monsters for us to fear. The event highlights a specific vulnerability. Millions of viewers followed the same predictable, algorithmic path, reacting with unthinking urgency to a threat that only existed on their screens.